Hi, guys. We are going on day 3 of being trapped in Maine. Cannot get back to Los Angeles. Can we get back to West Coast where we live? I don't know. At this point, it's a comedic saga, really. Sunday, we started out. We were supposed to fly at like 7:15 a.m. from Portland, Maine to Chicago, then on to LA. We get to Portland, Maine. They have a rare power outage in all the Jetport. I already told you this yesterday on the podcast. Everybody was very calm, but the way everyone thought this was like a dry run for a terrorist attack was like the whole Jetport was a talking. That flight gets canceled. We get rebooked for the next day, 6 a.m. out of Portland, back to my old stomping grounds of DCA, on to LA. 3 a.m. we get up. We get a notification. There was trouble with the plane. There was some sort of mechanical issue. Our flight's been pushed back so far in the day that we'll miss our connecting flight in DCA. There's no more flights to Los Angeles. So we're on our way to Boston to try to get a red eye. We'll see how it unfolds. Anyhow, so today's episode, I was going to talk about 5 things that you have to experience when you come to Maine, because I've now been here for 2 solid weeks between my niece's graduation. And then you guys know my mom and brother live in Maine. My entire family does. I have 27 first cousins. Most of them live here in Maine. I grew up in a little town called Wiscasset, Maine, went to Wiscasset High School. So I come back all the time. My mom is 76. She's been through so much. She has survived a stroke, which was like a brain bleed, an aneurysm in her brain. She survived that. Breast cancer. She's a stage 3 breast cancer survivor. That was a decade ago. She had kidney cancer 2 years ago. She had one of her kidneys taken out. I thank God every day I've had so much time with her. And I never, because I hear this lots of times from people, I never want to ever regret not spending a ton of time with my loved ones. So I make the effort every 2 or 3 months. Like she comes out, I mostly come, KJ and I come to Maine. But so it's been awesome to spend time with her. But we've been here 2 solid weeks. So 5 things you got to do when you visit Maine, we're going to talk about today. Sister Wives, there's been so much happening. So I wanted to do a quick, some of the big stories that have been out there trending, including Mykelti and Tony Padron. Obviously, Mykelti is Christine's daughter. One of her daughters has given away spoilers for season 19. We know the release date. I told you that yesterday. But there's also been a spotting of Sister Wives filming. I'll tell you who, what they were doing, what fans are saying about it. And then also doubling down with the Derricos. I'm going to get much more detailed into this on TLC Talk tomorrow, but this has been another huge divorce in the TLC world. So many divorces now in the TLC world, much like Bravo. People Magazine did a recap of every TLC couple that has gotten divorced. It's kind of crazy, but the Derricos are a very interesting story. Dion and Karen Derrico, doubling down with the Derricos, has been around for a couple of years on TLC, been pretty successful. But Dion's been involved in controversy, allegedly some business ventures that did not end well. People coming out of the woodwork to talk about it. So they have 13 children together. What this means, we also have an update on Dion will be paying Karen child support. But I'll get into more of the, I guess, inner workings of this couple tomorrow on the podcast. So first, and I also have a huge announcement. I was getting ready to give you a huge announcement. I have crappy audio today, which I really hate. And the video, I'm sitting in one of our, in my bedroom in Maine. So it's not exactly how I wanted to announce it, but thanks to you guys watching, supporting me, making my podcast a top 200 most listened to TV and film podcast in the world. I have now been picked up and my show is going to be carried as on a actual TV network, the video portion of it. I'll tell you what that means and who I've partnered with. Okay, so first and foremost, let's talk about Maine, visiting Maine. I love it here. I grew up, I love coming back. I don't love living on the East Coast anymore. You guys know I lived in DC for 15 years. It was amazing. It is my home. DC built me. Like it gave me an incredible audience. So many of you guys, I mean, I came to DC as a 25-year-old, like I had no body confidence. I don't even care what I weighed, but at the time I was very self-conscious. I was much heavier. I was not beautiful. I was not, I guess I was young, but that was it. I had no experience in radio, television, and I pounded the pavement. And by the grace of God and my hard work, I connected with Kane on the Kane Show and became the host of the #1 rated Kane Show for 6 years. And that show lives on in infamy, as so many of you know. So, I love East Coast living, but LA is where I need to be for my work, and it's going fantastic. So I don't want to live on the East Coast anymore, but I love coming back here. And so these are my list in no particular order of 5 things you need to do when you visit Maine. Absolutely, you need to come. Go to Height of the Land. Height of the Land is this beautiful overlook in Rangeley, Maine. I was born in Rangeley. We spent a couple of days in an Airbnb there in Mango Springs Golf Course. Go to Height of the Land. It is absolutely breathtaking. Have a cup of coffee, do a meditation. It's one of the most absolutely spectacular places, I think, in this country. Number 2, come to Rangeley and stay at Rangeley, especially around the Lupin Festival. Lupin is a beautiful flower. I think it's more indigenous to like Maine, New England is the only place I see lupins. They do a whole festival in Rangeley. The lupins are gorgeous, and they make all these trails, especially around Mango Springs Golf Course, which is where we stayed. You can walk through the lupins, the nature, the wildlife, just unprecedented, unmatched. Number 3, have a lobster roll at Sprague's Lobster Shack in Wiscasset, Maine. I grew up, my middle school, high school years were in Wiscasset. Sprague's is one of my high school classmates. He owns it. His family has owned it. They do just chef's kiss lobster rolls, unbelievably amazing. I love Nate Sprague. Go and get a lobster roll there. Number 4, go to Round Top Ice Cream. I have done a lot of eating on this trip. Taking me back to what I weighed when I first moved to Washington, D.C. I've not been working out. I'm a little fluffier. I don't give a rip. And I've been doing a lot of eating. So absolutely go to Round Top Ice Cream. It is so amazing. Number 5, Nowitas. Nowitas is a legendary little shop heading to Stratton, Maine. So Kingfield, Maine, Stratton, Maine, on the way to Rangeley. Amazing moose watching out there. But Nowitas is a long time Indian American museum and shop. Probably one of the best Indian American collections of baskets and beautiful Indian made blankets and their history in Maine, and then kind of really obviously with the pilgrims and being colonized. It's such an incredible shop. And the couple that owns it has owned it for 40 years. They live there. Nowita is American Indian. I always want to say Native American, but they were talking about how they want it to be called Indigenous people or Indian American, which I always mess up. So the shop is so great. It's really children-based, but also educational. If you have kids, go to Nowitas. It's off the beaten path, but so unique. I love Tom, who's one of the owners. Tom has such a rich history. And my mom wanted to go there. She wants to learn to play the flute. So she bought a flute and she was playing the flute. Our which is, she and KJ had a flute off. It was unique. Absolutely go there. Those are my 5 things you must do when you come to Maine on your next trip. And of course, a lot of people ask me, because my brother runs a glamping business, Comfy Dome Glamping. It's affordable glamping, mid-coast Maine. Come and sleep under the stars. He has these geometric domes, and Seth is a top chef. The dude is an unbelievable baker and cook. He makes homemade blueberry muffins that are off the charts, highly rated. And sometimes I think he does some other breakfast specials, like if they're requested, but he's just, Comfy Dome is like my 6th one on the list. Definitely come. It's affordable for everybody, family friendly, or really romantic too for couples. So there it was. There's an update on our situation of when, if, at some point we'll be back, but whatever. All right, let's move on to Sister Wives, doubling down with the Derricos divorce, which everyone's been talking about. McKelty and Tony run a Patreon. They put clips out on social media. A lot of clips are recirculated all the time on TikTok. I'm an enormous Sister Wives fan. I'm counting down the days when the show will be back. We know for sure that the show is coming back this August of 2024. Now, how do we know this? We know this from two sources. One of the biggest sources being Mykelti and Tony. They did in the past week a Patreon where they talked about spoilers that are going to be out there for season 19, which really aren't that big of spoilers because we sort of knew that it was happening. It's really nothing new, but I'll go through it. And then the other source is now Ben, who is Cody Brown's nephew, and Benjamin Brown. He is on TikTok making a huge splash because he's been on TikTok for a hot second, and he goes by the Fresh King Benjamin, if you want to follow him. He grew up as a Mormon polygamist in a Mormon polygamist compound. Now he's a comedian and keynote speaker helping cult survivors rebuild their lives. Ben is like taking the internet by storm, honey, while I've been on vacation. Everybody is following our guy, Ben, because Ben has said that he is going to watch season 19. He's going to give inside information about the family. And he also recently came out on his TikTok and confirmed that August 2024 is when the next season will drop. Now, fans are furious because Mykelti and Tony revealed what season 19 is going to be about. And I already told you guys this, and I know this from, I believe, Mary Brown, her Friday and Friends. She was talking about this. But Tony and Mykelti say that season 19 is going to follow David and Christine dating. Now, they've been married since October 2023. Also going to show the birth of Mykelti's twins. Honey, they're headed for 2 years old. Okay. Going to show more of like Mary post-divorce, Janelle post-divorce. And it really there's just nothing new there. There's nothing new. We've known that for a while. And I told you guys these seasons, and actually we know this from Christine Brown. Christine on her social media, these shows are now 18 months behind what's happening in real life. Fans are furious about this on Reddit, and I totally get it. I do not know how these networks, whether it's Bravo, whether it's TLC, how are they going to keep us engaged when there is such a lag time from what they filmed in real life and what we see in real life? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how they're going to keep people engaged because to me, this is so old. And given the fact that Garrison Brown has passed away, and we know that cameras went back up. That's true. Mary, other sister wives have said that we're going to see the passing of Garrison. I think it has to be addressed. The only way I see this happening is I think they're going to be far behind at the beginning of this season. And then at some point we are going to cut to, and does that become these post specials that we've now come to see, which are more in real time? Christine Brown's wedding, for example, the one-on-ones, the Sister Wives after season shows. Is that what we show that shows the aftermath of Garrison's passing? And of course, the alleged huge Brown family reunion that was happening this month, where all the family members were going to get back together, including Christine, Janelle, Mary, the ex wives, Cody, Robin, the whole thing. I don't know. But I do believe this is true from Mykelti and Tony because I've heard it from multiple sources. I think we are going to be far behind in this process of seeing this family. We already know from family members, we're getting a season 19, we're getting a season 20, and I would say now we are 100% getting a season 21. We'll see. So there you have it. But the other big news is, and we know we're getting a season 21 because fans had spotted in Tennessee, Cody and Robin being filmed on a family trip, just the two of them with their kids, with their youngest children. And Cody was actually feeding Robin fudge. Like, what a random. Oh, I've got a spotting. Cody was feeding Robin fudge. Now, was her arm in a cast? No, he was just out there feeding her. Now, I do this with my husband, Schman. Sometimes I do like to feed him. So, anyhow, these two apparently booed up, cozied up, looking great, talking about their relationship according to fans, and feeding one another. Now, what in the hell tidbit is that? We need more than that. What were they talking about? But they don't seem to be missing a beat about their relationship. And again, nobody else was spotted. That's what everyone keeps asking. And of course, Mary Janelle, everyone says that Cody will never take another wife. And Cody himself has done a recent podcast interview that I broke down. and said that he doesn't think polygamy works anymore. But they were spotted, they're filming. And, could that filming in Tennessee, the trip that they took, be part of season 19? I guess, but I highly doubt it this late in the game. We'll see. Also, McKelty and Tony, if you follow them and are fans, are moving to North Carolina. This was a big announcement. They say that Christine, who lives in Utah, was obviously heartbroken, but they're doing it for the betterment of their family. And a lot of the Brown family have moved to the Carolinas. Maddie's in the Carolinas. Janelle has reportedly been talking about it. So also going to be interesting from a production standpoint. Mostly this show has been shot in Utah and Arizona. Now we're getting family members all over the country. I say that because now this show brings in a boatload of money for TLC, but their production costs are going to be going up with family members moving to different parts of the country. So will that impact it? We'll see. Will we be getting a lot more cell phone footage where they just dub over the words? Y'all better not do it. Don't do it to us. This is a #1 reality show. Get them folks a decent microphone. Doubling down with the Derricos. Doubling down with the Derricos, Dion and Karen announced their divorce. And this has been pretty big news. People Magazine has been covering this. And again, like I said, I'm going to get more into some controversies with the Derricos tomorrow, but they are getting divorced. Karen has shared updates that she is going to work more on self-care and her mental health. It seems like so far things are amicable. Karen is 44 years old. She took to her Instagram recently with an update that she and the kids, by the way, they have 13 children together. Hello, it's them and Elon Musk. Elon just had his 12th child. And people say to me, well, he has a ton of money. It's like Nick Cannon. A ton of money doesn't make you a good parent. Like 12 kids being raised by a nanny ain't helpful. So they finalized their divorce fairly quickly. And Karen says that she has been getting requests for speaking engagements, which she may continue to do. She also, it looks like she's going to get about $2,000 a month in child support from Dion. Dion is 53. They tied the knot in 2005, but finalized their divorce pretty quickly this month on June 6th. And according to legal documents from TMZ, they plan to split legal and physical custody of their 13 children, minor children. The outlet reported Dion was ordered to pay $1,166 per month in child support. Honey, you can't, in what state does that even support one child? Dion and Karen's oldest daughter, Darian, was not included in the filing because she's no longer a minor. She turned 18, so they actually have 14 children. The former couple confirmed their split in a statement. And together they say they remain unified in parenting overall their 14 kids for their well-being. I've watched this show on and off. It's good. It's sort of the playbook of TLC, very much like John and Kate +8, a little sister wivesy. It's sort of they get into these entanglements and how are they going to figure it out? I don't dislike this show. I do actually enjoy Karen and Dion's mom and Dion and the kids. And they obviously went through a lot of miscarriage drama. They've had in pursuing their family, they've had fertility issues and losses, which I can absolutely empathize with. But it just never hooks you. Again, it's sort of a little backgroundy viewing for me, but very popular on their network. If you want to get caught up, Tuesdays, 8 p.m., of course, on TLC, you can catch that. All right, lastly, I was hoping I had better audio and video to make this big announcement. But the Sarah Fraser show has been picked up officially by a TV network. RealityNetwork.tv is the brainchild of the amazing Alex and Peter Madrigal. So Peter is from Vanderpump Rules. You know him, an incredible decade-long celebrity reality star. Lisa Vanderpump and Ken Vanderpump's go-to. He still is manager, head bartender at Sir. Been a long time in the industry, but he and his business partner, Alex, have teamed up and they created RealityNetwork.tv. I want you guys to all go to the website. It's going to be a Roku channel. The programming is unbelievable. And the Sarah Fraser show is their first reality talk show ever on the network. I can't even believe this is happening. And I'm almost so overwhelmed. I'm paralyzed with how to take the video portion of my show and make it the next level, to make it the talk show that I've always wanted. Oh, are you a talk show producer watching this? Did you produce Maury Povich? Call me. Seriously. No, I need to take it to the next level because this is an incredible opportunity. And because of you guys watching and consuming on my YouTube and engaging so much with me on social media, the exclusive shows are going to be on realitynetwork.tv. Roku, you can go to the same thing, but I want you to go to the website and sign up. It's $5.99 a month. You're also getting a discount when you use code Sarah, SARAH. Use code Sarah. You're getting a discount. Very affordable every month. And it's not just myself. There's unbelievable programming on here like Catching Cheaters, the world's most unique adventures. It's perfect formatting for me. There's going to be reality news, hunting Sasquatch, if you're into that, bar brawl. So it's a network that is really about reality TV and lifestyle, and you are going to love it. Peter's going to be on. Peter will be back on the Sarah Fraser show, but please subscribe. This is enormous. It is just, I can't believe it's all happening. And I'm getting ready to launch my podcast course, How I Made Six Figures Podcasting. How to start a podcast, why podcasting is still so hot, despite people saying, well, everybody has a podcast. All I want to do is say to you guys, whatever your dream is, deep in your heart, deep in your gut, pursue it, because I am proof that your dreams come true. It's happening for me every step of the way. And it didn't happen. I always thought I was going to be super famous by the time I was 28, and I was going to be thin and have, this reality show and this, and I was going to be married to John Hamm. Okay. Well, I still maybe there's still time to marry John Hamm. No offense, man. I wish I could, actually, I really do want to be a polygamist because there's so many husbands I would take. Anyhow, but my point is that if you work at it and you stick with it through the difficult times, through the low times, and there's been so many low points in my podcasting career, amazing, your dreams come true. Like, keep following that voice. And part of me wanting to put out a podcast course is taking a risk on myself. And really, the podcast started for me to find my voice, because I'd always been a co-host with people, even when it was Sarah, Ty, and Mel. I never stood on my own 2 feet. And even TSFS, when it started, had co-hosts always. It was hard for me to step out with the mic myself. And it started that way. And then it got a cult following, and then it continued to get a cult following. And then it went into kind of these unique interviews that I'm known for, having like cuddlers on, and a porn star that's now a pastor, and sister wives commentary, kind of the wild side of life. And now it's gotten a following that people listen every day, to the point that it's the talk show that I've always dreamed is happening. So I want to release that podcast course, because if one of you buys it and begins the journey of, whether it's in the entertainment space, whether it's in the talk space, whether it's just about brand awareness, anything now more than ever is possible. That's the craziest part. 2024, we think it's like wild and life is falling apart, but there's so much opportunity to create anything you want, whether you want to work for the man, whether you don't. This is the time. It's better than ever. So please go to realitynetwork.tv, sign up. You can watch and subscribe to the Reality Network on your phone, through Roku channels as well. But go to the website. That will guide you how to do it. Enter code Sarah, SARAH. You're going to get a discount, just about $5.99 a month, but you're going to be paying less than that with my code. I love you guys. Hopefully I'll be back in LA. Otherwise, the reality show will be from this wood-paneled room. All right. Bye, everybody.